Hello, welcome back to Killing It in the Apocalypse. Just kidding, but that would be kind of cool if we had it as like the theme. We have Chase and Troy here today. Part of this workout program online is getting everybody involved. So no matter what age, you're able to participate in this workout to some extent with the different movements that I have planned out for you guys. So we are going to start today with a complex. It's going to be a squat, a lunge, a crossover deadlift, tap, and it's just going to continue to go into a sequence alternating for 20. So I'm going to give one example here. We'll move on to Chase's mat for a second. So we're going to squat if we have, for all people involved, we're squatting. However, for the lunge set, before I do that, my scaled athletes, my scaled members, I want you guys to take a step back. You're not going to lunge. You're going to keep the heel high, though, as you step. So now this is important because my heel sinks down. I'm losing the pressure off my toe, the ball of my foot, and that pressure is like stabilizing my hip here. So from the front leg is pushing back, and the back leg is pushing forward, and you're feeling this stable position here. And then you'll step and you'll do the rest of your complex. But again, you won't lunge. Every time you step back, you're pivoting, keeping the heel high. And on that front foot, the knee shouldn't move in front of the heel. It should stay right over the heel. Okay, if we're doing this on a regular version, we're going to do a squat. You'll do a lunge, you'll get into a deadlift stance, and you'll do a crossover tap. And then we're gonna squat again, and we're gonna lunge the other side, and then we're gonna get into our stance, and we're gonna cross over and deadlift the other side. So we're actually gonna stay in a kind of a squat stance the entire time. So we're going from squat stance to lunge to a squat stance to deadlift. All right, boys, you ready? Yeah. You're just gonna follow along with me. You ready? Let's do it. Stand up. Our feet are going to be completely straight. Toes are forward. Arches are supported. As we're doing all this work, we're thinking about driving and kind of screwing our feet into the ground as we push our knees out. That's going to turn on this abductor lateral line here. All right, boys, ready? Squat. And then lunge. And then back to your stance. And then deadlift with a little crossover touch. And you're only going as low as you can. Squat. Lunge on the other side, back to your squat stance, and now cross over to the other side, tap. Okay, squat, lunge back, squat stance, deadlift, tap on the side. Stand up, squat, lunge, deadlift, crossover, and tap. You guys are just hearing, listen me up. Squat, lunge, deadlift, crossover, tap. Squat, lunge, deadlift, crossover, tap. Squat, lunge. Chase, keep up with me, babe. Deadlift, tap. Squat, lunge. Just switch inside. Deadlift, tap. That's 10. We're going for 20. Make sure you always squat. Do your step back. And every time you tap, you're tapping the other side. Nice job, guys. This is 14. Almost there. You guys, every time you're lunging, that knee should be driving out as well. Don't let the knee buckle in on your lunge. Which one is this? This is 18, 19. Last one. and 20. Good job. Okay, again, applying those complexes are going to also start to incorporate that brain central nervous system connection. This is good. Crossover patterns, thinking through these movements. These are all going to be beneficial in your training. We're going to do a high knee for 1 minute. If you are scaling this down, these high knees are just going to be nice and steady standing, thinking about stability, thinking about your foot being nice and forward every time. And you're working through as much of a knee height as possible. When I do this, I don't want to lurch forward. Okay, so I want to keep my high knee nice and upright. And I'm just going to go up as high as I can go without letting that pelvis swoop. For the rest of you guys, we're going to make this a jumping high knee, so you're just running in place kind of. Again, thinking about the toes being straight, really thinking about keeping more on the ball of the foot and not letting the heels go down, and supporting that arch there. All right, guys, for a whole minute, we're just high kneeing. You guys ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. In through your nose, out through your mouth. You got it, guys. Get those knees up there. Thirty seconds. Almost there. 15. No, stop me. 5. And rest. Take a deep breath and walk it out. Okay, guys, we're going to hit some Turkish get-ups. If you're at home, I'm going to show you. You are going to do overhead box squats instead of the Turkish get-up if you can't get all the way to the ground. The way you're going to do this, arm is going to go up, other arm for balance. We're going to squat, lift the leg up, stand back up. And that's one of our 8 that we're going to do. So if I do the other side, I'm going to squat, lifted leg up on the opposite side, stand back up. If you're doing Turkish get-ups, get ready.
Not ready for Turkish get-ups.
You are. Okay, guys, we're going to go hand up on one side. The opposite leg is going to step back in your lunge. You're going to go right down to the side and tee off your arms. Let that back leg swoop forward. Sit the butt right down. I'll go all the way to the ground. Back up to your hands. And then lift your hips up high, bringing the front leg back towards the lunge position. And get into your lunge. And then stand. Let's switch sides. Opposite arm up. Step back, opposite leg. Hand comes down like you're teeing off. Bring it through. Lay it back. Bring it back onto the hand. Lift the hips up high. This is the hardest part, is bringing that leg back in your lunge. And then standing up. And that's 2 of our 8. Go to the other direction. Every time you go down, you should be thinking about keeping your elbow very locked out at the top. The point of this is to open up those ligaments and tendons and to get them in their full range of motion. So if we're holding in a bent arm, we're not going to get to take advantage of that extension and allow the ligaments and tendons to work the way they need to work for you. So we're thinking about pushing that locked out position.
Can we work at our own pace if we know what we're doing?
If you know what you're doing, you can certainly work at your own pace.
How many are we doing?
We're doing 8. Those of you on the elevated surface know that the importance of this is hip flexion and rotation. And so you guys working into your squat and getting that knee lift, it's going to start to incorporate those necessary things in order to get down here at some point and get the full Turkish get up. Last one right here. All the way down. Nice straight arm. And extend. Okay, we're gonna mash our calves now. So go ahead and get your implement. Broomstick, roller, water bottle. So you can even use the edge of a chair. That would be hard with your calf mashing, but we're gonna hit this meaty part of our calf. So we have sections, obviously, of the lower half of our leg. I want you to start it at the top, but then work your way a little lower and off to some sides and kind of find your own stuff. Or for a minute, we're gonna get into this. If you need to be on a elevated surface, you can definitely rest this leg on a coffee table or a different piece of furniture that's about the same size. Okay, guys, we're moving the foot. So the way Troy has his mash, he's not going to get a lot of pressure into that calf the way he's at, because his body needs to be somewhat pressing into the object. And if I'm laying down, my body's actually pressing into the floor. So I'm kind of positioned up. So is Chase. Now Troy's getting more. I could even lift my hip, and I could put this other leg over and then start to get a little bit more into that tissue. And that's pretty painful. So I can put a fair amount of pressure with just the other leg without having to put the hips up. But you are also getting extra gains if your hips are up because you're technically reverse planking. So it depends on what you want. You're going to be here a little bit longer. Make sure that foot is continuing to move back and forth, pointing the toe, flexing the foot, and then doing some ankle circles. Okay, I want you guys to go ahead and switch legs. Get into a spot on your calf. Maybe tilt around off to the side a little bit. Position it to where you feel that sensitivity, and then start moving it around. Thinking about breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Do you feel it, Chase? How bad does it hurt? Pretty bad? Pretty bad, but he's so calm and quiet. Good stuff, dude. Kill it. We got about 20 more seconds on this side. Go ahead and again, find some other spots and move that ankle around.
Did we switch?
We did. Did you not? You did not switch?
I did.
You did switch. All right. Go ahead and rest off that calf. We're going to get into a section. It's 5 minutes long, and it includes spring jumps and leg raises or heel to toe extensions and a leg lift. So if I'm scaling this workout and I should not be jumping because I've got knees that are sensitive or have a tendency to get really overinflamed, what I want to do is I'm going to do my rocks to my heels to my toes, to my heels to my toes, to my heels to my toes for 5. You're going to sit down and you can either lift your legs up for 5 like that or hit it quick for 6. So either one, whether the legs come up at the same time or you hit 3 on each side with the single, you're going to then stand back up and go heel to toe, heel to toe. Now, if the heel, rock to the heel is making a pressure that is causing some pain, I want you only rocking to your toes, putting your heels back down, but not actually rocking into them. If you're rocking into your heels and you feel that pressure, it's due to some tightness accumulating around there. So I would rather you mash. You can try it then, or again, just go to the heel lift, but make sure the heels do touch down. Spring jump to leg raises. So that means you're getting up and off the floor. Now, what is nice about this is you need to be able to get up off the floor like quickly, and you're going to get to practice this right now. Your option 1 would be moving from your leg raise moving from your jump to your leg raise and hitting your leg raises, and then after you've done your 5th one, so you come up for 5, you bring your knees down and you kind of roll yourself and come up into this. And I call that a reverse burpee. The other option would be, as I'm down here, I do my last leg raise, and then I tuck and I cross my feet, or like kind of like an almost Indian style, crisscross applesauce, and I come up in a lunge movement. And if you do that, you want to switch sides. So you want to make sure that when you're coming up on each alternating side.
We need to do that each 5.
So yeah, so we're gonna do 5 spring jumps. Your spring jumps are gonna be as high as you can. And then you're gonna get down on the ground and you're gonna do 5 leg raises. And then you're gonna get back up and you're gonna do 5 spring jumps. And then you're gonna get back down. And for 5 minutes, we're going up and down. Are you ready, boys?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it. 5 minutes of this. All right, again, scale this. Take rest if you need to. I'm definitely gonna end up taking rest as well. 3, no, it's not. 2, 1, go. Leave your torso again. Nice job, guys. Those definitely more than 5, baby.
Me?
No, try.
Sorry.
You got it, guys. Keep it up. Up high, really high. There you go. We're at 3 minutes. So we got 3 minutes left.
Wait, what? I thought it was 5 minutes.
It's just 5 minutes. We've done 2 of those 5. Up high.
2, 20 left.
There you go. Two minutes left. Think about how you're moving through these movements. Remember, the point is to focus on your engagement. We got 120 left. You got it, baby. 30 seconds. Seconds. Last one right here. Nice. Okay. Take a deep breath. Walk it out a little bit. Move the legs around. Boys, walk it out. Come on. You too, Chase. You guys did good. Again, working through the same muscle tissue for a long duration. Works those muscle fibers, but it definitely also tightens them up. So taking a little bit of time and just kind of walking it out, rolling your neck around, moving your shoulders. So we're going to now do a reverse planking lift and straddle. Now that we've just really kind of warmed up the legs, turned them on, we're going to work through some stability work and turn on even more muscle. If we're reverse planking on an elevated surface, you're doing your best to lift yourself off the surface you're on. You could be on a tall surface, you could be on a tall chair, that would make it easier, and you're just kind of at a higher plank level. When you do this, your hands, we're gonna go ahead, if we can, we're gonna point fingers straight. If you need to turn your hands out, that's fine. But otherwise, try to get your hands going straight. We're gonna lift the hips off, and we're gonna do a leg raise and a straddle out to the side. All right, so now again, leg raise, straddle, out to the side. If that's too difficult, you can also go into a bent knee, reverse plank, straighten one leg, tap out, tap back in, and then come in to reset. Okay, so bent leg is gonna take a lot of the weight off, and as the leg comes up, you won't have as much instabilities and pressure that might cause pain. So bending the legs is gonna be great. If you are on the ground, we're gonna be doing this. So the goal is 60, but if you are doing a harder version maybe for yourself, then break it up to 40. On the ground, we're gonna be doing this in our reverse plank, same thing, except we're gonna be on the ground here, hips are gonna be up, we're gonna lift, we're gonna straddle, we're gonna come back, and we're gonna set. We're gonna be doing 30 on each side. Again, you could do the hard version and scale to 30 total, or you could lighten it up and you could do a scaled portion of this. You also bend the knee here. So bend the knee on one side, lift the leg, and then straddle. All right, boys, you can bend the leg. Where's Chase? Bend the leg, bring your hip up, straddle. Okay, and then you have to come back down. And you gotta come back up and straddle. And you gotta come back down. And you're gonna do 20 on each side. Okay? All right, guys, go ahead and start. Reverse plank, lift, straddle, 1. Alternate. 2. Watch what Troy's doing. 3.
We have to be
4.
okay.
Bent knee. 5. There you go. And you have to put your butt down each time. 6. A bent knee will be easier if you want. There you go. Out to the side. 8. 9. 10. Try to keep those hips up. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15.
How many of these?
We're going to do 4, yeah.
How many are you doing, Mom?
60. And I'm at 20. Deep breath. Woo! Hello, triceps. Goodness. All right. Uh-huh.
No.
That's 30. Down to 10. glutes and my traps. Whew. 20 more.
Mom, can we put on songs?
Shake it out. No, not yet. Well, listen to our workout.
Okay, can I pick it?
Feel on the wrist a little bit. If yours get too crazy, elevate. That'll take your wrist pressure off. Or match the biceps, and that'll help too.
This is a good workout.
Woo!
It's you.
Yeah, the one you're laying down with. Last time, I got 10 more.
Tired.
Jackknife bird dogs are next. Okay, last one.
Is this our workout kind of thing, Mom?
No, this is the midpoint.
Like 3/4. 100 something.
Nah, man, I'm sure everybody feels the same way as you.
Is
Okay.
it 100 burpees?
I'm done with mine. If you are already done, you can totally fast forward me or you just listen to the nonsense that happens. Okay, we are doing jackknife bird dogs. If you are on an elevated surface, you're gonna do this. Don't wanna knock the glass down. You're gonna do this with your arms out and you're gonna go extension back down. Sorry, hold on. You're gonna lean back, my bad. We're gonna lean back and then we're gonna do that. So now I'm gonna extend one leg, opposite arm, back down. Other leg, opposite arm, back down. I'm hovering my leg, but if you need to take that weight off a little bit, but just still move the hip in and out, rest the heel down and then bring it back to neutral. If these arms start to get too tired and you're feeling overloaded, take rest in between and lower your number you're gonna do. So you're alternating through that. Chase, excuse me, babe. For the rest of us,
It's 100
you're
standing
either gonna
legs.
do a jackknife bird dog where your feet are on the ground, make it a little easier. You're gonna do opposite limbs extending at the top, coming back to center, and then doing the other side. Or you can hover your feet, and then you're gonna do that same thing,
Is that
opposite. And actually, I kind of went low. We're gonna do more of a high and kind of keep the legs up. Okay, we've got 60 of these. If you need to cut them a little bit, cut them to 40. Go ahead and begin.
What are we doing?
You can do 40. I'm really trying to keep my leg up in the air as I do my extension. Nice job, guys. All right, that's 30 for me. I'm gonna take a little break. Deep breath. You can definitely do these a little faster. I'm choosing to focus more on my positioning and go a little bit slower. $18, 19, 40 or 50, 53, 54, 56, 57. Oh, there it is. Oh man. Okay. Standing side leg lifts. We're gonna go ahead and bring it up.
Standing weight.
We're just gonna brutalize these legs here. You've got this standing leg lift is meant to be a lift, not a kick. You're trying not to tilt when you lift your leg, and all you're doing is going up to basically. I feel my glute med stop me right about there. Otherwise, I'd have to lean over and put more of an angle in it. If your kids are putting a little bit of an angle, not a big deal. They're still gonna get a lot out of it. But if they can somewhat not lean over, even better because we're stretching the hip. Okay, use the support if you need to. Keep the feet straight as you're balancing. Make sure you're trying to keep yourself even. You don't want your hip to turn. And then I want the toe being forward the whole time, so don't let the toe go out away off to the side. If you're cutting this, make it 50, so 25 on each side, or even make it, you can do like 80 if you don't want to quite go to the 100. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start on my left leg, although my left leg is going to be super weak afterwards. But here we go. Go ahead, boys.
Mom, we're supposed to have a Zoom meeting at 4 or 5 this time.
Okay.
So hopefully we can do it at 5.
We'll figure it out. Are you counting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many of these? Or do we have to do 50 on each side?
That's supposed to happen.
Or you could do 80.
On each side.
Oh, no. On one side.
I'm just kidding. Chest is tall. I'm kind of holding mine out here for balance. You can also put them up behind your head or out here. As I say that, I lose my 27, maybe. 28.
Why are you doing that?
Oops. You can definitely feel that abductor doesn't want to work anymore.
And then we're just going to do more leg work in the workout.
Oh, yeah.
It's 4 minutes of everything. So it's
They already know.
like 20.
Oh, man. Okay, so I should not have done 50 straight in a row. I basically couldn't even barely lift my leg at the end of that. So that was 50 on my one side. We'll walk around. Okay, and then we got the other 50 or wherever you're at. Let's go ahead and keep going. I'm going to do 10. 10 in the wiggle. How are we doing, boys?
Good. Done.
20. 20. What time is it, boys?
4:32.
Okay.
19. 4.
Oops.
34.
Okay. That's 30.
Mom,
40.
Hmm?
Last 10 for me, and then we're going to go into some mashing.
Need something more tense, like
Okay.
jumping.
We are going to mash our upper traps now. As you're doing that, I want you to also, if you need to pause this and hit your lower body before we go into the bird dogs. I know I've been watching some videos of people working out, and it's easy to get cramps in the middle of your work. And to avoid that, you can mash before. So if you know that maybe you're starting to get close to cramping, pause your video, mash, then come back into it. We're going to hit these upper traps. We're going to use the roller. So boys are going to get on the ball. There's a ball. Where did the ball go? Right there at the top.
Who called us? No, but they're shining.
The ball at the top. Chase, come here on your ball. You guys, we're going to go in the upper traps here. Come here, Chase. His upper traps right here. Can you keep yourself there? There you go. And so we're going to be right here in this meaty part of his shoulder, his little shruggy muscle, okay? And what he's going to do is he's going to lay on this ball, and he's going to put it right in that shruggy muscle, and then he's going to lean into it. You can also do this on the wall. I'm going to do it with a roller. So go ahead and get to your spot. You could even jam your upper trap into a door frame if you had nothing at all. Like a door frame is actually pretty amazing. That and the back of a chair. So we're taking a deep breath.
You could use a cup, a metal cup.
You could use a metal cup, that's true. I mean, we get metal cups all the time around here. Huh?
How do you put this in?
How do you put it in?
Yeah.
Get up. And then lay down.
Traps, you said?
Right there. That's it. Now move the arm. The upper trap, the upper shrug muscle.
Hey, it came off.
So because of my roller not being as, like it can't push it as deep because of the way it's shaped, if I leave my hips up really high, I'm essentially just like leaning my trap into this thing and shoving that muscle into the roller. And that's going to give me that nice release that I need. I can feel it as soon as I go overhead, a lot of restriction kind of being messed around with. So I'm just going to keep moving through it. And I want you guys to go ahead and take a deep breath and come off that side. Go ahead and do a test real quick. Bring the arms around. You should be able to feel like right away some sensation that's different.
Mine feels way looser.
Way looser? That's good. Okay, so then I want you guys to go ahead and stretch. Let's do it on the other side.
Look, this one is really loose.
No, it's not.
Yes, Mom, look.
It's still gonna do it. Still gonna do it. Even if you have one side that has better range of motion than the other, both sides need to be tended to.
Yeah.
Both sides are gonna have different issues going on.
Yeah.
What's up, Troy? What?
Oh, that hurts so much worse than the last one.
Yeah? Which side are you on now?
Oh, it's on my right.
So you're on your right side and it's worse than your left?
Mm-hmm. I've been using my right a lot lately.
What are you using your right for?
Pulling back a bow and arrow.
Have you? I mean, that is probably, no. Because you would use your left arm for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Chase. I use it. I use my left arm, Chase.
What do you use your right arm for?
I've been using my right arm for picking stuff up lately.
Oh, yeah. Are you trying to use your right arm more?
No, it's
You're just doing it by chance?
Yeah.
Troy is left-handed, so evening out your dominance is also very, very helpful at getting your range of motion back. All right, now that we're done with the upper traps, we're going to do these bird dogs. If you're on an elevated surface, you're going to do this
last one.
in a table position. Your heels are always going to be planted onto your hips. Heels are going to be planted under the hips. If my legs were straight, I would not be in a good position yet. I want a soft hinge in the knee, just a soft one. It's actually the ankle that's bending, and that flexes the knee. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go into my bird dog if I can, and then I'm going to tap the knee and elbow if that is comfortable for me. If I need to, I can go arm, leg, and no tap at all. Okay, because what we're doing here is we're rounding the spine in your tap, and if you're someone that needs more stability and a more straightening trunk, I'd rather you go into the bird dog and not even worry about that elbow tap. All right, you're going to do 30 of those. And if you are on the ground, we're going to do the same thing. Same thing applies if you're someone who has more issues with the rounded back. Let's keep the crunch out of it. and just hold longer bird dogs. All right, boys, you ready? Yep. Chase. Okay, opposite sides are going up. So we got up and into your crunch if you can, and then back up, and into your crunch. And if you're not crunching, let's hold for 3 seconds at the top instead. 4. We're gonna do all 15 on one side. Keep that toe turned down towards the floor. Make sure your little ones are extending like a pointer dog. Extend their tail and their nose, like in the cartoons. Okay, go ahead and switch to the other side if you're ready. Otherwise, keep finishing your reps. We're not hyperextending the back in our bird dog. We're keeping the belly tucked. Not feeling a pinch in that lumbar. Terrible at counting.
You are?
Yep.
What do you want?
I'm going to say I'm on 13.
You're number 6.
14.
You just get distracted.
I get thinking about what I'm talking about. Okay, bird dogging crunch is over. We're on to the workout finally. You got 4-minute segments. This is for max effort reps. That means you're X-planking the entire 4 minutes. You're not going to want to burn yourself out. So just like I did in my leg raises just a bit ago, all 50 in a row cost me my kind of steadiness on my other side. So I do want to accumulate more reps since it's a max effort. So I'm not wanting to die out to the point where I can barely do X-planks and hold my shoulders up. So you just think about, as you're going, your pace and how your shoulders are fatiguing. If I'm elevated, your X-plank is going to be just opposite. Okay? And every time you lift off, we're not hyperextending. I don't want you guys to X-plank, and I don't want you to go out. What we're doing is we're balancing on the opposite sides. That's the main part of the X-plank is your right hand and your left foot are in charge of your entire body, and we're working on the stability of that, and that's a lot of core control. When you hyperextend, you just put risk on your spine as you do it. So there's no reason to do that. Make sure that you can go to your kitchen counter if you need to. If you're on the ground, you're going to do this just like we talked about, keeping a hollow. Your spine, the second that starts to serial bowl into like this nice like kind of concave position, then that's when things start to compress that spinal cord, and you're going to feel those inflammation spots and that pain later. Okay, X-planks shown on there, X-planks on the ground. They're going to be here.
For 4 minutes.
When we get done with X-planks, we're going to hit bicycle sit-ups on an elevated surface. You're leaning back, just switching the knee, and you're just doing it on a higher elevation. If you're doing this on the ground, you are bringing your chest up and trying to keep yourself elevated in your chest as you're doing your bicycle sit-up. Know that full extension of your leg every time you go out and you bring your knee in. If you keep your knee bent, you take away your range of motion, and you also take away some of the weight, the load that you're putting in your lower abdominals, because a longer leg is going to be heavier. A bent leg is going to be lighter. So we want to maximize the work that the low abdominals have to do. And if they're holding load out there, that's money. All right, we're going to do a max effort. Oh my gosh. Declining reverse Superman, knee to chest. When we do this, You guys are, some of you guys are going to just be doing a, when you hit your reverse Superman on the decline, I'm gonna go over that first. You're gonna be here, and your legs are gonna be up, and you're gonna bring your knee in, and then back out, and in, and then back out. And so that is your reverse, or your declining reverse knee to chest. If you are scaling that, you are just going to do glute bridges on your elevated surface because it's essentially the same thing. You're bringing the hammies into a really tight contraction. So reverse Superman knee to chest is either elevated where your heels are on this, or you're sitting on this and you're doing your glute bridges with your bent knee. The very last thing is a bear crawl shuffle. For those of you who are on elevated surface, this is basically just going to be a plank shuffle for you, and you're going to be moving through your surface. Okay, so I kind of just keep moving around my coffee table, and I'm going to stay on my toes. I don't want my heels to go down. I want to stay on my toes. It's going to work more of this quadricep, lower abdominal, trunk area. So you're shuffling around for 4 minutes. If you're in a bear crawl shuffle, you're on the ground on your hands and knees, and your hips can stay high. So you're just shuffling around. Again, you can kind of shuffle wherever you want, but that's gonna be your work. All right, so we're gonna start with those 4 minutes of max upper planks. Boys, get ready. Get ready. Those of you out there, get your water, get your music of choice on. And we're gonna hit this, boys.
Kyle wants to do this.
Okay, actually, so then I'll go ahead and I'm gonna let you go, and you go on your phone over there. Okay, the kids. For those of you who have kiddos at home, don't think that just because my kids left it, they don't have to or they can't do it. It's totally gonna be fun. Let them have fun and do what they can. All right, I'm going to get this on. It takes me forever. Okay. First 4 minute segment. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! Do 30. 115. Seconds. Seconds. Seven seconds. Time. Woo! 108, or no, I'm sorry, 208 for me. All right, you guys have about 15 seconds. We're going right into these bicycle sit-ups. And then after this, the reverse Superman. All right, same thing. Find a cycle of reps to do. Keep it consistent. 3, 2, 1, go. Count half rep or half reps. So 4, 5, 6, 7. You good. Bye, abdominals. Two 12. Woo! 1, 2. Whoa, 120. Dudes. seconds. Four seconds. Oh, you suck. Sorry, I said suck. Ah! 15 seconds. Oh, take a break. 39. Okay. 149. Woo! My abdominals. That was crazy. All right, again, about 15 seconds. You were doing your elevated surface glute bridges. If you were not doing what I'm showing you. 4 minutes. Again, you're up. And then you knee extend to your chest area and then back into your plank. And you're counting your reps. And they are full reps. So it's 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm slamming this thing. Okay, that's 40 reps, 3 minutes. You guys are doing great. Keep it up. Woo! 16, 220. I'm mashing my shins or my calves too. Ooh, bye, hammies. Maybe. 140. $120. Not down, my love. You cannot.
We can't use the Zoom on our phone.
1 minute. Woo! 40 seconds. 25 seconds. Just hang in there. Last little bit. Yeah. All right. Last one. That was 137 for me, and my hammies are tight. Okay. We got one last section. It's a plank shuffle. If you are on an elevated surface, it's a bear crawl shuffle. If you are not, come out of it when you need to. Stretch when you need to. This is it. 3, 2, 1, go. I should have moved my yoga mat. You do not have any specific direction. You are just bear crawling around. So it's not a side shuffle. If you come out of this, it's just losing time in your bear crawl, essentially. So your goal would be to, stay up as long as you can through the whole thing. Three minutes. Woo! Oh yeah. It's better to dance for show. 2:30. I live in San Antonio. Two minutes left. There's no way. I'm losing it. $130. One minute. Almost there, guys. Thirty seconds. Fifteen seconds. Oh my God. Rest. Stop. Everybody's done this time. So, I don't know about you guys. Well, you probably hate me a little. I hated me a little. Those bear crawls were awful. So hopefully you did this at your scale. Your goal is to stay as engaged as possible. So if it's too hard to the point that you're not able to focus on what's happening. So your heels, they have a tendency to collapse, like just in people in general, when they hold a plank, you often see the heels dip inside. And there's a weakness in that foot, and you're not using its entirety. And so one of the things that you're trying to think of is in your planks and your bear crawls and your mountain climbers and your lunges is this placement of the heel and its alignment to the toe. And you want to see it stacked. You don't want to see your toe and heel at this angle because you're not dispersing the stress nor utilizing, again, the full ankle stability. So things to think about when you scale, it's still going to be hard. I've done so many scaled WODs, and I love scaled WODs for a whole different reason. Scaled WODs, Scaled WODs are an opportunity for me to go even just a little bit slower and a little bit more focused on the movements and the muscles I'm feeling, because it's easy to get lost in the pain, and because that hurt, that was painful. But I know that there are a lot of people who only focus on the pain, and the thing is, you should be able to feel the pain but also focus on what you're engaging at the same time. And so if you start to feel overloaded in an area, you want to self-evaluate. And this is why I continue to tell you guys, get yourself in front of a mirror. It feels weird at first. A lot of people don't like looking at the mirror, but you're not looking at like you or your eye. You're looking at angles and you're looking at kind of your structure. So like you can see when something's off tilt. Well, your body is typically off tilt, but we just don't look at it that way. So start looking. So start noticing, like, are you somebody who cocks their head off to the side? And like, this is what you do normally. What you'll most likely experience is neck pain, and definitely headaches and migraines, because you're in this position where these muscles are over elongated and these muscles are short, and so you're affecting nerve connections and stuff. So these are habits that, although are kind of tedious to pick apart, are going to be great in the long term. You guys rock. Nice job. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth.